Good afternoon, everyone. I wanted to touch base in the middle of the week to see how you all were doing, to see, what questions you have regarding the other videos that we've posted about carb cycling, reverse dieting, diet breaks, what you should be doing, should I be changing my macros? And as we get towards the end of our program, my hope is that you see some changes. You feel different somehow, and you may not see a lot, some of you, and that is okay, and I want you to be okay with that too, because in the grand scheme of things, 7 weeks is not a very long time at all. And you've heard me now talk about how what we do here in this program, this is a foundation from which you can build. I have had the pleasure of working with several people now for 2 years in a row, and I have seen them progress in different forms and fashions over those 2 years. And what this does for me, it gives me a little bit of peace of mind that what we are doing here in this program works. The proof is there. It's in the way people feel, it's in the way people look, it's in the way people think. It really does change them if they allow it to. But if you're not seeing a ton of physical changes, I just want to remind you that 7 weeks isn't a long time. And also, all of your work, all of the effort is not for naught. Because every time that you do something positive for yourself, it's like compound interest. A few months ago, I read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear. If you have not read this book, I implore you to do so. It is a fantastic book, so many great takeaways, and a lot of it is what we focus on in this group. And after I read that book, I was like, you're doing the right thing, Kylie. You are putting something out there that people need, and it is effective. And I'm going to share with you a few things from that book that really give me peace of mind, and I think will resonate with a lot of you as well. So again, this was Atomic Habits by James Clear. If you're having a hard time making new habits, I strongly recommend it. I also love The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg, High Performance Habits by Brendon Burchard, my mentor. And the other book that I really love is Peak Performance. So last year, those 4 books really got me fired up and on the right path to personal development. So those are I will type those up in the comments so you have them. But what you want to think about, again, is knowing that you're on the right path. You don't have to be at your end point right now, because there is no end point. It's about being on the right trajectory. Are you on the right path? Is what you're doing getting you where you want to be? Here's a direct quote from the book. Success is the product of daily habits, not once in a lifetime transformations. That's not how this works. You're not going to wake up on Saturday, the 7th week of our program, and all of a sudden you have transformed. As much as I would love that to be the case, that's not how it works. We are evolving. You are evolving who you are, the way you look, the way you feel, the way that you think. You are on the right path if you are doing the things. So remember, this is our foundation. It's putting you on that trajectory to where you want to be, keeping in mind that this path never, ever ends. You just get better. Now, so that's what I want you to think about. Be more concerned with your current trajectory than where you are. Are you on the right path? Then you're doing the right thing. If you stay on this trajectory 1 more year, oh my gosh, 2 more years, 3 more years. If you keep filling your body with healthy foods, if you keep getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep every single night, if you continue to get off your phone, off your computer an hour before you go to bed, if you continue to find other ways to reduce your stress, if you continue to work out 3 times a week, Oh my gosh, where could you be? What does that look like out in the future? And so I want to make sure that what you're doing is something that you can do on a daily and a weekly basis. If what you're doing now is not something you can do on a daily or weekly basis, let's reevaluate so that it is something that you can stick to. Sometimes when we have big goals, we have to be a little bit more extreme, and it's okay to be extreme for a certain amount of time. But think about what can you do to get back into balance, back in equilibrium so that you can continue on this current trajectory. If it's not feasible for you to work out 6 times a week, don't expect that of yourself, right? But what is feasible? The 5 habits are feasible. The 5 habits are totally doable no matter where you are and what you have going on in your life. Another key takeaway from the book is that you get what you repeat. So what are you repeating? Are you repeating the good stuff? I hope so. Are you repeating some things that are holding you back? That, you're on the right path on that trajectory, but then all of a sudden you have something that takes you the other direction. So then you have to play catch up. Notice what you consistently do, because what you consistently do is going to show you where you're going to be eventually. Another direct quote from the book, and I'm going to read my notes here. Time magnifies the margin between success and failure. It will multiply whatever you feed it. Good habits make time your ally. Bad habits make time your enemy. Whoa, let's think about that for just a second. So what are good habits? If you can get 7 to 9 hours of sleep every single night, over time, you are refreshed. You are killing it at life. Let's say you're a smoker. If you continuously smoke a couple cigarettes a day, time is working against you, because the more you do that, the worse it is. So let me repeat that. Good habits make time your ally. It's like compound interest, money in the bank. Bad habits make time your enemy. The more you do it over the long course, the worse they are. So if you don't get your stress levels under control, if you don't get your binge eating under control, if you can't get off the on again, off again cycle, that's not a good thing. Also, the most powerful outcomes are delayed. So don't be in a rush to get where you're going, because one day you will wake up and you are there. Keep in mind, you gotta work to stay there, because that's why this journey never ends. But in the book, he uses this analogy of bamboo, and I did not realize this. Bamboo grows forever underneath the ground. The roots grow forever, and then all of a sudden one day, that bamboo shoots up. That is just like you. And I want you to think about boiling water. So water, in order for it to boil, it has to get to a certain temperature. And I can never remember what water boils at. So let's say 100 degrees, everyone. So let's say it takes 100 degrees of water to boil. Just because you're not boiling yet doesn't mean you're not making progress. You started at, let's say 50 degrees of water. You might be at 80 degrees right now, significantly higher than where you started, even though you're not totally boiling yet. That's okay, right? Because things take time. Allow yourself the time. Don't rush yourself, right? We're more concerned with our trajectory than getting to that boiling point, because you're doing it. You are doing the work. What else did I want to talk about that? We got our boiling water. And, with our habits, are you guys familiar with diminishing returns? With diminishing returns, the more you do something, the less effective it is. You could think about this with treats. So let's say cake. Those first few bites of cake are like so delicious and so sweet. But after that, you're not really enjoying the cake quite as much. You're not getting as much out of it. The more you eat, the less you get out of it. Habits are the opposite of that. The more you do your good habits, the more you get out of them. So it's that compound interest that we want. So the point is this: even if you're not seeing huge drastic results, although I know a lot of you are going to see some significant changes in yourself, you're changing. you are changing for the better. You have put yourself on the right path, and it's only going to get better, and it's only going to get easier the longer that you do this. So I encourage you to continue to do the work. Focus on what you can do every single day. Don't worry about what you should be doing, and know that what you are doing is working. So that is the talk for today, you guys. Make sure you watch all the videos that we've posted so far this week. I haven't had a lot of questions, so that makes me worry that you haven't watched them, but watch them so you know. If you have questions or comments on this, please let me know. You guys, let's finish out this week nice and strong. I'm so proud of all of you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.